The legislature was back at work in the Capitol this week, conducting 2 special sessions and attempting to address 3 distinct priorities: the House, the Senate, and Governor Stitt's. The House focused on a set of 15 bills that would provide some inflation relief for Oklahomans struggling to pay their bills. Capitol correspondent Jason Doyle joined us from our OETA studio in the Capitol with a progress report. Jason.
That progress came to a stop on Wednesday, Rich. Because of the way the House ended their work, Senate leadership believes inflation relief is now stuck and cannot be sent to the governor for his consideration.
House roll call.
On Wednesday, during the special session called by Governor Kevin Stitt for inflationary relief, the Oklahoma House passed a series of bills that would cut the grocery sales tax in various ways, lower the personal income tax, and make cuts to an agency's appropriation to help pay for it. And then the House sine die, or closed that special session.
And you saw complete political theater today.
Senate President Pro Tem Greg Treat says what the House did, in his view, made it impossible that those bills can be moved to the governor.
These bills were passed with no Senate author, and they sine died. And so when they sine died, they cannot accept the bills to send them to the governor's desk.
Governor Stitt did praise the House's actions of approving the slate of inflationary relief bills, saying, quote, "Oklahoma families need inflation relief now, and I am glad the House passed legislation to eliminate the state grocery sales tax and reduce personal income tax, both of which I called for in my State of the State address in February. The Senate has already passed tax cuts this year, so I am optimistic that they will join our efforts to deliver the inflation relief Oklahomans need."
What the House delivered on today cannot become law. And I'm shocked that the governor doesn't realize that. I saw the governor's comments applauding the House's efforts. I think he got hoodwinked on the deal and doesn't realize it.
Earlier in the week, House Speaker Charles McCall promised the House was taking action on the governor's special session call.
Our approach, since there is no agreement, will be to advance these measures that are important to the people of the state and allow for the rest of the process to take place as the Senate and the governor are ready to move those forward.
McCall contends the House was already working on these inflationary relief measures during the session, and the representatives were ready to act.
We believe that at this time, where we are, because the special session was called, without a plan, the House has decided it is not going to come in and not act on something.
Republican Senate leadership believes a more methodical approach to the relief package is warranted.
I've just said we needed to take a methodical look. We're not going to jump to if the governor says, when the governor says we're going to come in special session and do these 2 things, we'll answer that call, but we're not going to ask him how high. We're going to come in and do our work and do it in a serious way.
The Senate leaders believe that when the House closed the governor's special session, it became useless for the Senate to take up the measures passed by the House.
Everyone has to understand that the House that creates the bills is in charge of taking the final version and submitting it to the governor's office, and you can only do that when you're in session.
In a statement, House Floor Leader John Echols rebutted, saying the House desk remains open to receive whichever bills the Senate passes so the governor can sign them into law, contrary to inaccurate statements otherwise. Senate Democrats want no part of this fight between House and Senate Republicans.
I will tell you that the Senate Democrats are not the least bit interested in getting involved in this back and forth between the governor and the legislature. You know, the majority, we're not interested in that.
Senate Minority Leader Kay Floyd did point out that progress is being made in the legislative special session on the projects to be funded by the Federal American Rescue Act Plan, or ARPA funds.
We found out we're 40th in the country for our allocation of money to projects. In other words, 39 other states are getting the money in and out to the projects and to their people in their state faster than we are.
House Democrats agree.
With the possible exception of one bill dealing with the behavioral center, for OU Children's, everything else seems to have run very smoothly.
Representative Andy Fugate does wonder about how the Republican leadership chose to pay for the inflationary relief package. The plan is to use surplus money from the Oklahoma Healthcare Authority. Fugate, the House Minority Floor Leader, questions why a fee for hospitals is being raised when the Healthcare Authority has large cash reserves.
As we were talking about this bill, to come to find out that OHCA is sitting on nearly $1 billion worth of money now at a time when we're raising the fees that they're putting on patients. And so the natural question is, why would we do that? Shouldn't we be reducing that fee on patient health care?
If you're keeping score right now, Oklahomans don't have inflation relief of the $75 rebate check and the motor vehicle sales tax repeal, originally passed during the regular session and vetoed by the governor.
If we have to come back in another time, that's fine, but we're not going to let an opportunity to champion something for the state of Oklahoma and the people. We're not going to let that go to waste this week.
The communication I've had with their leadership is that we were open to expanding the second session call if we came to an agreement on what we needed to do. And that's what precipitated, I think, them going ahead and putting all these bills in special session 3.
While the way forward for the legislature concerning inflation relief is up in the air, the Federal Reserve Bank took action this week on the federal level by raising interest rates 0.75%, a move not seen by the Fed since 1994. Rich?
Jason, quickly, will lawmakers be back at the Capitol next week?
It's a very good possibility they could come back into session next week for the American Rescue Act Plan funds that they're trying to make sure get allotted before the end of the year.